Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the DreamHack Open 2015, live from Tour. I'm Richard Lewis, the host of the Analysis Desk. Next to me is Wax Angel, our Korean elitist. And joining us also on the Analysis Desk, we have got, fittingly, I will add, a local French hero in the form of Todd over there. And, of course, we have got Apollo, who might know a thing or two about StarCraft.
You grew up in Tour, didn't you?
Nope, not at all. It's my first time to this city.
Oh, okay.
Worth a try. So, look, we're going to get into it now. This is actually great within the context of the tournament because it's an all-French game here. It's Lilbow versus Marine Lord, right? Is that right?
MarineKing.
MarineKing. Oh, sorry, my bad. Did I miss that one?
Yeah.
They played in the previous round, Marine Lord and Lilbow.
Right. So, okay, so we've still got a hometown hero in here. Yeah. I thought that the game had been delayed for some reason. I don't know why I would think that.
But Lilbow came out on top on that one. Now he's here.
Okay, well, now he's going up against, obviously, MarineKing.
The king of Marines.
Well, yes, he did used to be the king of Marines, but...
He's defeated a lord, now can he defeat a king?
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I mean, we've talked about this at the top of the show, that this isn't vintage MKP that we're seeing these days, but capable of still beating anyone, especially foreigners on his day. So this will be, a big game coming in for Lilbow.
Yeah, when we watched MarineKing play earlier, I was a little bit impressed with this play. I think he just played very solid. There was nothing that stood out massively, but he just didn't make that many mistakes, and overall just played a good game. So I think he's a clear favorite for this series, but this is a massive moment for Lilbow. This is, I would like to say, I mean, he got to the round of 32 once in WCS in Season 1, 2014. He's just re-qualified back into it. That's all he's got to his name in these big premier tournaments. And now he's in the round of 16 fighting for a round of 8 spot at a big tournament. Well,
this is one of the magic that we often see at DreamHack, isn't it? Where it's, you get these players that just have these runs and come out of nowhere. It always happens at these tournaments. We can take a look at the bracket so you can see for yourself what's been going on around. Now, we did just have Harstam going through. That's got to be one of the talking points of the day. He's going to come up against Hyun tomorrow. We've got Parting and Rain. That's a very tasty encounter, if ever there was one, two people on the favourites list for the tournaments. And what about over on this side here? I mean, you can see MarineKing. I think he's had a fairly impressive run, actually. I think there were some people who were saying they weren't expecting him to do too much.
Yeah, I don't think he's been given a big challenge yet, though, right?
Yeah, it's been a bit of an easy bracket for him so far. Hasn't run into that many of his Valkyrians.
But he will soon, though, after this one, if he is able to defeat Lilbow. But I think Lilbow's got a shot at this. I mean, Lilbow, as much as he doesn't really have many results to his name, is easily top 3 French player, easily. And he's actually one of the better European players overall. Just hasn't really got the results to back that yet. But this could be the tournament where he breaks out. Well,
Todd, you know a thing or two about French players. So what can you tell us about this guy and his chances in particular in this matchup?
He's a guy that used to be very, very cheesy with Justin, but changed that with a little bit more macro-orientated play, more third bases, and just very good mechanics all around, upgrades across double forges. Colossus Blink is usually, he's gonna be his go-to. And up against somebody like MarineKing that can mix it up quite decently, throw in quite a few command centers in there as openers, can play sometimes very aggressively with the quick factory, but sometimes can play pure bio with the Marines that is known, to control very well. Usually against Protoss, that doesn't really come into play. There is no splitting against Colossus and Storm, or not too much. It's going to be interesting to see how well these two match up. So far, I can only say, though, that I've been a lot more impressed from MarineKing. Like, he dismantled, like that first game in particular, his build was tailored to just demolish his opponents.
And you can see we've got the head-to-head coming up on the screen. Very interesting because obviously they've not played each other before. So we are entering unknown territory.
But as much as it's unknown territory because there's no history, you have to look at this as a massive, clear favorite for MarineKing. This is, I'd say, 80-20, 90-10. It's a massive David versus Goliath fight here for Lilbow.
Okay, well, let's see how David and Goliath are looking, if any of them are nervous. We have got an interview waiting over with Smix over in the tournament area. So, Smix, take it away.
Thank you very much, Richard. I'm very much looking forward to what these two gentlemen have to say before their match. MarineKing, when I spoke to you last, it was in the round of 64. You spoke then, you said you were very eager to show some really great results as it is your first foreign tournament in a very long time. Now you're just one game away from making it to the round of 8. How does it feel to be so close to standing on that big stage out there, and do you have any words for Lilbow?
일단 처음에 드림핵 올 때 구체적으로 뭐 목표를 잡고 온 건 아닌데 벌써 이렇게 게임 하다가 보니까 8강이 이제 고지로 온 것 같은데 제가 지금 되게 부진하고 좋은 모습을 많이 못 보여드렸지만 그건 이제 국내에서였던 것 같고 저는 원래 해외 대회에서 제일 강했던 것 같아요. 그래서 제가 잘할 수 있는 곳에 온 것 같고 정말 오랜만에 왔는데 좋은 성적 내고 싶어요 이번에 드림핵에서.
So MarineKing says, yeah, when I spoke to you last, I talked about coming here, and he says, in terms of my results, I said that I had been in a slump, but that's mainly been in Korea. And I feel like I've always performed my best when it comes to these foreign tournaments, and I've always done well against foreign players, so I think I'm in my comfort zone. I'm where I want to be. I'm so close to the round of 8, so I hope to show you guys some really great results. And Lilbow, you are the lone remaining French hope in this tournament here in DreamHack Open Tours. How does it feel? This is actually your first top 16 finish, as well as you're 1 game away from making it to that big stage tomorrow.
I feel good, but actually all I think about is just going into the round of 8 to play in front of the real crowd.
All right, but before you get there, you do have to beat MarineKing, and he is a very tough opponent. So your last thoughts before we're headed into this match?
I don't want to spoil too much, but just if I feel comfortable during the games and I feel good overall, I should be able to win.
All right, well, it's time to find out, will our last French show move on in this tournament, or will MarineKing stop his path? We'll find out soon enough. Before then, let's hear their thoughts from their experts.
I'll tell you what, guys, if he is nervous, he's not showing it there, is he? I mean, literally, and yeah, just seems like I'm already down, I'm going to do it, real confident. It definitely came across like that. I mean, can it make a difference when you're playing on home turf?
You always talk about that, man.
It can, but...
Yeah, always, because I've got to ask.
It can. I mean, there's different factors to put out there. He's not playing in front of the crowd yet, so I think if he was, that would help. The obvious ones is that it's MarineKing traveling. What is MarineKing? Is he tired? How's he been eating today? And stuff like this. More so than Lilbow, who has traveled a very short distance, probably feeling very comfortable. Doesn't have any jet lag and tiredness like that. That's the way that it would affect us.
I mean, like, you always ask about, like, body language. Like, it's so important.
Yeah, well, I know
like,
you don't understand these concepts. I asked Sean these questions.
I think it's not important. Like, sometimes players will say something and think something completely different. And sometimes they will be relaxed but look nervous, and then the other way around. That's how I see it.
As good as much confidence as he showed, Lilbow, I want to see what he's saying once he actually feels the heat of playing against a player like this. Because it's one thing to say, yeah, I can look at him as a different Terran. I mean, I'd beat Terrans all day on ladder, but he hasn't played this type of player before. He hasn't gone up against big Koreans before, and he's about to go up against one. And I think, you know, over the years, there is a massive difference when you actually enter the ring with a player like this, and you will feel it in the games, and I'm sure he will straight away.
Well, we just had MarineKing's details up there on screen, his stats. I want to ask you, because you've actually done really well. I've been impressed for as someone who I thought was a bit of a dodgy choice of an expert.
I am being so sarcastic.
No, I'm not being sarcastic. Seriously, you actually, not only have you predicted results, you've predicted builds. So I wanted to get your thoughts about, you know, how you think this one's going to go.
Oh, I think, like, you know, though Lilbow is definitely the underdog, he has a solid chance, especially in a best of 3. As Nathaniel alluded to before, you know, one of MarineKing's defining traits is the fact that he's an insane corner cutter. Like, when he goes for greed, he goes insane greed. And if Lilbow knows that, he can try to exploit it. And he did, you know, say something about, I don't want to spoil anything. I don't know if that's giving something away, maybe it's something prepared. The other thing he might be able to exploit is that MarineKing is also very unabashedly cheesy. Like, he has no compunction, like getting rid of the foreigner hope, the hometown favorite, with some sort of like crazy 2x proxy rush.
But, I mean,
if he catches him doing that, that could also be an easy win.
MarineKing's had a lot of success in this matchup, though, over the last few months. This is the matchup that stands out the most out of all of them, right? I mean, if you think about all his games in Korea recently, Terran versus Terran, Terran versus Zerg, he dies off quite fast. But in this matchup specifically, we've seen good results.
Yeah. I mean, definitely in a straight-up game, if it goes to a straight-up game, you know, Lilbow is going to be in a lot of trouble. But I think there are like some holes in MarineKing's game that are predictable that he could exploit.
Okay, well, let's nail on predictions then. Todd, are you going to root for your boy?
I told you, like, don't waste your time.
Yeah.
We're in France. Lilbow.
There we go.
Brother, of course, I'm going to pick Lilbow.
That's my Todd. There he is. The boy's back. What about you, Sean? Common sense.
MarineKing.
Yeah? What? Do I ask you here, Wax?
Yeah, I would have to pick MarineKing.
Okay, well, look, thanks very much for your thoughts then. We'll come back to you guys after the match. And without any further ado, I think we need to get in there and get this game started. It is going to be MarineKing Prime versus the hometown hero Lilbow. It's going to be casted by Todd and Apollo. Take it away, boys.
All right, welcome everybody. It's time to get the commentary underway for this match between Lilbow and MarineKing. It's going to be a big match here for Lilbow on the big stage, not physically, but the game's here loading. A big game here, a great opportunity.
Yeah, I think so too. Lilbow, you know, he's once upon a time he was looked at as one of the French players to really be a huge hope in the European scene, maybe even in the world scene. Like he started to post really strong results, in particular online.
Yeah.
Didn't really follow it up with that good results offline, or at least consistent. But there was something. And then for some time, he started underperforming a little bit. But no, it really seems as he's back. MarineLord is, I rank MarineLord very high, you know, in terms of European players. And he beat MarineLord in previous rounds. So I think Lilbow here, he has a very good shot. I talked to him quite a bit, you know, and I got to know a lot about how he's feeling right now.
All right, here we go. Down here in the bottom right-hand side is the red Protoss representing Millennium and France here today. It's Lilbow. Just 19 years of age, going up against one of the biggest names in StarCraft II. Up here to the top left-hand side is the blue Terran, his debut at DreamHack. It's MarineKing. All right, let's see how this one's going to unfold here, Todd.
You know, MarineKing, we talked a little bit about how sometimes he gets really greedy. I think one important thing to keep in mind here with him is that how repetitive he's going to get sometimes. And if Lilbow is able to pick up on some of those things, like for example, for the longest time, MarineKing was going for Command Center first. For the longest time, both against Zerg and against Protoss. Some people realized that Zerg started rushing him with Zerglings, Protoss started proxying him. So as much as I don't think we're going to see a proxy from Lilbow, if he starts on picking up on the fact that MarineKing loves to go for CC first, and look at this, he's going to be a CC first here. Yeah. Obviously, maybe he's going to play pretty greedy himself in one of the games and put himself really far ahead. Maybe the second game, you know, he's immediately going to see here in this first game with a quick gateway scout what he's up against. And it's a great, I guess, opportunity for Lilbow to decide from very early on how he plays against this.
I mean, you've played a lot against Lilbow. You've seen him develop into the players today. What is like his biggest strength then that's going to assist him in this?
I think he has very good mechanics. Like I think it was Wax Angel who was saying Lilbow probably shouldn't play a straight-up game. I think that's exactly how he wants to play, straight up. Colossus Blink, third base, double forge, upgrades, solid defense into well-timed counterattacks or timings. That's what he's going to be aiming for.
All right, well, his first probes move over. We've seen he's playing against the command center first. He's put everything that was in motion on hold inside his own base to get this Nexus down immediately to minimize the losses when it comes to the economy war between the both of them because of this fast command center. He's still got this probe out on the map doing the old shields down, back off, shields up, go back in. Harassment to this SCV.
I played a bit against MarineKing actually in the past. Even in, I think there was 2 tournaments I played him in and on the ladder. And I totally agree with what you said earlier. Like stepping in the ring with this guy is very different than playing another Terran. Like you can, from very early on, feel that you're playing against somebody that's just like a beast at this game, basically. Almost like he's as if he was born to play it. He's just so good at it. He was known for the longest time for his marine control, which can come into play. Like a lot of the time, you know, if you see Colossus, you can think, well, not going to happen. But sometimes the SCV here was compared to a tram in tours.
Yeah, I mean, you know, SCVs, you call them the boys, little trains that work their way, and that's one that we also have in the city here. We thought we'd show you guys at home. There's a fantastic set of trams and public transport, and we all can, you know, move around the city very freely.
Long distance mining before the second Nexus is up. That's pretty cool here. So he's not going to have to do it later on. Yeah. The thing about going for a quick Nexus like this when you scout Command Center first is that you're going to be in a better position economically, but in terms of gas, you're going to be a little bit behind, and your mothership power is going to be delayed a bit. So timing with Marines can do better, and we know how much MarineKing loves his Marines. But now he does something a little bit surprising. He gets an eBay and no third barracks. You would almost always expect a third barracks here out of MarineKing.
Yeah, much faster engineering bay. It allows him access to build turrets if he believes his opponent could go down an Oracle route. Obviously, he doesn't know what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
He could start an early +1 attack upgrade too, delays his factory a little bit, but really, really increases the strength of his first push. When he moves out, he'd have a +1 attack ready, and by the time Medivac's ready, he'd actually have 1-1 completed as well, which could surprise Lilbow, just the strength of these units. But Lilbow has chosen Twilight Council and Blink.
Yeah, we saw only one gateway added on, so I think either he's going to drop a bunch of gateways or go for a robo here very soon with this.
Yeah.
And then from there, when you go for Blink like this, it's very encouraging to try and take a quick third. But I feel like Lilbow is more a player that likes to react. He either will take a very greedy third, or he will try to react to his opponent's third by taking it after his opponent does it.
Okay, well this probe is set in position to add on that robotics facility, as you've said.
Yeah, from here, then it's obviously going to be the Robo Bay to follow this up with the Colossus, and then usually it's 2 Forge. You can go for 1 if you want to have a little bit more units to deal with your opponents. One of the things that I talked about, not only with Lilbow, but with one of the Terrans that he's played a lot against recently, is the amount of observers that you should make. If you invest a lot into observers and Terran picks up on it and scans and kills them, then you have no vision, and you've invested a lot into something that's, you know, maybe weakened the rest of your tech or your Colossus production. So he was telling me that he likes to get less observers nowadays. And Marinelord was even telling me that Lilbow likes to get a few sentries and spam hallucinated phoenixes flying around his base to spot those potential drops that could hit him. So the preparation for these drops and offensive attacks is going to be very important, because it's going to hit him at some point.
All right, well, +1 attack is about to complete, and so is Stim. Double Forge now thrown down, so that's the way that Lilbow is going to play this. Stim, 5 seconds, +1 attack, just going to be around the corner as well. And we are going to see a movement out, I would imagine, very shortly from MarineKing, but that's a healthy amount of Stalkers, so probably not advisable to do that. We'll see if he moves out. He may just wait for Medivac, since the starport's now just going to begin them. And MarineKing just going to have a look at that third, see if it's down or not.
You know, it's funny, because I feel like MarineKing, he might be going to this match as somebody that has no idea who is Lilbow and how he plays at all. So he made actually a bunch of turrets to protect himself from Oracles. That's a big investment.
Pretty good opening from MarineKing, command center first, but apart from that, he played pretty safe. I mean, the wall was constructed really early on, a bunker was added on really early on, turret in the mineral line.
Yeah, I guess like he's respecting his opponent. You know, oh, how did that go? I guess he went around.
Walked in.
Yeah, he went around.
Got a good scout there. Double Forge, knows he's playing against Colossus, Double Forge, and Blink.
I really like the scout with the observer here by Lilbow, who wants to know when that third CC will go down. If it's 1 or 2 starports, or at least a second starport very quickly, when the additional barracks are going to be dropped.
2 stims there from MarineKing. Lilbow. Oh, MarineKing made a mistake. They actually killed one of his own Marines. And Lilbow takes another one, almost loses a Stalker, but he does kill off about 4 Marines there.
I think Lilbow right now, he just realized by scouting the command center that it's command center before 4th and 5th barracks. So he might want to go for a much quicker third than he would otherwise. He's already going to be, I think, on around 6 gates. And he's already very safe. Like having all of those Blink Stalkers, you know, and Colossus in the mix.
Photon Overcharge available on the natural. Stalkers around.
Shut this down very hard. If MarineKing fights here, oh my god.
Well, here we go. He's going to stim forward. He's going to try and go for the Colossus. Time warp goes down, and so far so good here for Lilbow. And that's actually a pretty good defense. Zealots are going to go to the front there. Colossus did a lot of damage. More additional Stalkers warped in. Good spread from MarineKing, though. The Colossus really doing a lot of damage, but gets taken out towards the end. But in trade of everything there, loses all the Marine Marauders, does push this back. I think he's chasing.
Yeah. Killing the Colossus here was a big deal, even though Lilbow, he's defended for now. He's overextending here a little bit, but he shouldn't have brought back that Colossus. It was going to get sniped no matter what. He should have pulled it back as soon as he shot those lasers. And now, losing one Colossus like this can cause the game. We've seen, you know, earlier, we've seen a game where this happened and then the Protoss was in so much trouble already. So he's going to start his Nexus now on the 3rd base. But
2-2 started really early here for MarineKing.
Earlier than for Protoss that went double forge. Wow, that's a first.
Yeah. 3 cannons being added on here by Lilbow, and 2-2 starts as well. And he's just kind of rebuilding that army that he lost off a little bit. But how would you adjust? You'd say that MarineKing after that trade, a little bit of lead?
Yeah, I think so. If you look at the supply, starting to pull a little bit ahead. One of the very, you know, important things in how parting plays is that MarineKing, is that I don't think he likes to add ghosts all that much like many Terrans, but playing with a lot of bio with good upgrades is what he likes. He's going to try to end the game before that with some good aggression. So Lilbow is already transitioning into Immortals. This is very heavily suggesting that he's going to cut Colossus from now and go into Charger Templar composition, which against a guy like Marine, I've won games. That's how good it is. I've won games against MarineKing where this happened, and I went for High Templars.
But isn't he weak until these upgrades complete without the Colossus support?
The army supply usually is what makes... you're talking about Lilbow?
Yeah.
The thing is that there isn't really many Vikings, so even though the Terran has like a good army supply, as long as you don't take a very bad fight in which you overextend, I think you're okay. Because he's adding Immortals, like they can be pretty good with this.
All right, so we'll see how this is going to work for him. Templar Archives now placed down, third Nexus completed for Lilbow. And he's getting closer towards those 2 upgrades. MarineKing not done anything since that last fight, and he's still adding on Vikings 4 at a time. 3 additional barracks to complete his production from this point.
Is he going to pull SCVs here? Is there any chance for that?
I suppose there's a chance for it, but
you know, if he went
I don't think he would.
There wouldn't be Storm.
No, there wouldn't, but he's not going right now, which means Storm has a chance to complete here. It's on its way. High Templar already been warped in. 2-2 now done.
And he's not scouting anything, nor dropping, so MarineKing is not going to have any idea for a very long time.
Yeah, he's just assuming his opponent here, Lilbow, is continuing with Colossus production. He's about to move out as 2-2 is completing. Lilbow knows this. Storm is on its way. This is going to be a crucial upgrade in the defense. That's a lot of heavy upgraded bio.
Does he have sentries? He can buy some time with some force fields on the ramp, but I don't think he does. Yeah, it's too much gas to go for sentries in this matchup.
Yeah,
so.
Storm's still not ready. He's adding on cannons. He knows he has to take a fight shortly as MarineKing wants to stretch his muscles and come to this position and try to win the game.
Wow, I'm really worried for Lilbow. He used the photon overcharge on the natural. The Mothership core, I think he's going to get sniped before he can photon overcharge the third base, Lilbow.
Yeah, well, this fight's going to take place 10 seconds till Storm is ready. He's running to the back. He just needs to wait for this upgrade to complete. It's going to finish right now, and there they come in. Are they going to be enough? I mean, it's enough there. MarineKing just has so many units left, and it just wasn't in time. In
terms of supply here, MarineKing is taking off completely, and Lilbow, I guess he didn't find his comfort zone here in this game. He didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, he's going to take this one, and it was so close. If he had Storm before that fight actually took place, he lost 2 Colossus immediately because of the reposition, but MarineKing hits a beautiful timing and is going to take map number 1 away from Lilbow.
It's actually crazy. Like if he hits 10 seconds later, Storm is finished, and then Lilbow doesn't lose all of his Zealots before he actually has Storm to buy himself some time for Storm, and then he can hold this with some big Storms in the middle of this army of MarineKing. He could have been in trouble. He was still ahead in supply and had a good economy, but if this gets shut down hard, he's behind. Yeah, you think that's just really unfortunate there for Lilbow then, more so than anything else? Or you think it's just like really well executed from MarineKing? The first attack, it was very simple for him. He built up, did 1 attack, did pretty well, fell back, built another army, a second attack and won. Yeah, he looks actually a little bit devastated. Yeah, I think it's really like that first attack by MarineKing in which he was able to trade and snipe the Colossus. Again, it was such a massive deal. If he had had 1 more Colossus here, like, he could have changed a little bit, because there wasn't that many Vikings yet to really shut down the Colossus while the bio was fighting on the ground. Yeah. And then if he had had to kite, would have given more time for the army on the ground to stay alive longer and then the Storm to really kick in. So a very good timing. I wonder if he knew to go for that timing or if he just like kind of winged it. I think he just went when his 2 upgrades completed. Yeah. He didn't scout. He didn't know what was going on. But one thing I want to ask you here then. So Lilbow has revealed a little bit about how he likes to play. He's now shown this tech switch possibility. How does that impact the next game then? MarineKing's surely going to be like, okay, this guy's capable of switching it up. If he does the same build order, then I guess the bad thing about it is that he's going to be predictable, and then Parting can change up his play and like do things better in order to adjust on how to play against this. But it's his strength. Like, I don't think he can really change that. I think it's really in the execution that there was a problem here for Lilbow. So if he just executes his build better, micro better, doesn't lose his first Colossus and all that, he's going to be able to do better in general. Even starting the Immortals like he did, usually I think it's better to start a Templar Archive and then going to charge an Immortals, because then you're going into Storm much faster. And you can even cancel a charge and like get more Templars, maybe even morph them into Archons if you're in trouble. You don't need to rush for a charge like he did. Okay, so one last question then before we jump into map number 2, as you should be loading into that very shortly. Did you spot any weaknesses then from MarineKing that could be exploited? I mean, it looked pretty solid and not really any holes. I guess he's a little bit predictable, as in he doesn't seem to cheese much, which doesn't mean like he can't do it in any game, but like in the first game, he seemed to be wanting to play pretty straight up. So I think that says a lot about how he's feeling about this match. He thinks he's just better, and he wants to outplay Lilbow by just playing a solid style.
Okay, here we go into map number 2 between these two players in the round of 16. This is our second to last game. We have one more before we finish day 1 and move into day 2 tomorrow with 8 StarCraft 2 players remaining. Down here to the bottom right-hand side, playing for Team Millennium, representing France, it's Lilbow. With a very, very difficult task ahead to be able to eliminate this guy up to the top left-hand side, spawning as the blue Terran. Playing for Team MVP, it's MarineKing. With his new chicken sponsor.
Chicken Maru.
Chicken Maru.
I wonder how Maru feels about this.
All right, so MarineKing going to open up the same again here, Todd? I mean, you'd open up the previous map like it. Why would you change?
Well, actually,
he's going to.
He's going to go for a barracks rather than CC first this time.
You think that maybe he's hoping to catch, you know, proxy Stargate or something along the lines that could, you know, try to just instant win if he had gone Command Center first? What do you think the choice is for then?
I think he wants to maybe play a little bit safer because, you know, in the past, like I said, he's done a ridiculous amount of Command Center first, and there has been time in which he's been hard countered by, you know, some proxies by Protoss, some Earths by Zerg. So he's going to want to, I guess, approach this game a little bit more carefully, which confirms what I was thinking earlier, you know, of him basically thinking he's the better player and not particularly wanting to cheese, you know, just playing solid, doing good timings. He thinks that it's going to be enough. And what's your favorite 2 maps, actually, in the new map pool?
I like these, Coda and Echo, I like a lot.
They are my 2 favorites, and I think we've seen them as first and second map of every series almost today.
They play very similar. I think they're pretty well balanced overall.
And they look beautiful.
The games are fun, and they're nice. Yeah, they're nice maps. They look nice. Reaper here from MarineKing. Whereas second gas taken pretty early on here from Lilbow, which MarineKing is going to move in with an SCV2 spot.
I'm thinking Stargate right now by Lilbow.
Yeah? Well, MarineKing goes, he's like, all right, well, no Nexus is down. Hold on, let's have a look inside this main base. Okay, Cybercore, gas.
He might actually abort because he gets scouted like this. You kind of hope that you're not going to get scouted early on when you go for something like this, because now you know that the Terran knows, and then it makes anything you might, when I use the double gas, with much weaker. eBay or not?
Well, the Zealot did get cancelled there. There's no structure coming down, just 2 probes.
He has no money.
And it's being blocked a little bit here. And 2 probes run away.
Yeah, he's trying to sell a story here. He's trying to say, I'm not going to expand. I went for some kind of tech, but there is a Reaper behind this.
Like, all right, well, whatever you're trying to do. Probe going to get taken out here. Kill number 1 of map number 2 here from MarineKing. Stargate has been planted inside the main base. Is the Oracle going to make a difference? Because right now, this Reaper is looking to find what all this gas has been mined for. There's a tech structure in there more than likely by this point, and he wants to go have a look, waiting for a bit more regen so he can run past that mothership core. Here we go. No, push back again.
I mean, he's going for a very solid build here with the 2 additional barracks. So when he sees what he's up against, I think MarineKing's already going to be very comfortable.
He sees
I don't even think that you can cancel a Stargate this late, so Lilbow has to go for at least an Oracle here.
Well, the Reaper jumps back into the main base, got the information that he needed to. And then on the other side of the map now, we've got Marine Production starting well.
Oh, it finished, yeah.
Yeah, the Oracle's on its way. No engineering bay yet, just now put down, so turrets available very shortly here from MarineKing, just looking not to take damage versus this Oracle. But there's still an opportunity that Lilbow can make this work.
I mean, like we've seen guys, especially like Trap, you know, getting an Oracle, their opponent know about it, doesn't matter. They're just flying there like, I don't know, they're the sickest pilot in the world, and they still get kills here and there. They're still so annoying. They keep the Terran back at home. Lilbow actually was one of the Protosses that really liked you know, that old build where you go for an Oracle and then you rush a very quick 3rd base. Then you drop down the gateways. But I don't think it's that good anymore, especially against a Terran as good as MarineKing. So I don't think he's going to want to go for that. Robo and then Colossus into Blink should still be his choice here.
Turret's perfectly timed here to finish up as the Oracle arrives. Is there any weaknesses? There's an SCV there, but now we're supported by Marines, and he triggered his Oracle to try to take down that SCV and then push back. He wastes a lot of that energy immediately and just didn't get anything.
Yeah, I think You know, I'm starting to realize more and more how Trap is so good with his Oracle. He first does a fly-in, where he sees where everything is, and then he decides where the weakness is, and then goes for it. Whereas most Protossers, they get in there, and they look to activate the Pulsar Beam ASAP to try and do some damage. If you do that, and you're wrong, and then some Marines appear on your screen as you did that, then you've already lost a lot of energy, and you're going to lose HP on your Oracle.
Unfortunately, not the best of starts here for our French player. MarineKing just kind of driving away with his production, just doing all the stuff he needs to do at this moment. He's got Stim close to finishing, Combat Shields now on its way as well. The factory is going to come down very shortly, so he can start to prepare himself to move up to Starport to get the Medivacs. But this army size that we've got from MarineKing started to rapidly increase off these 3 barracks. A lot of Marauder production very early on.
I wonder if he's going to push with Steam Pack and Combat Shield here, because they're going to line up very nicely. He starts his factory very late, so if he was to wait for Medivacs, oh my god, he would actually attack so late. Going for an attack here could be one of the great things that he can do.
Well, what really does Lilbow have to stop this at this moment? Because he doesn't have anything. He's got 2 tech choices being thrown down. The Robotics Bay for Colossus and the Twilight Council for Blink. 2 additional gateways now
he saw the
to
move
support
out, right?
the 3rd. He sees the move out, he has this Oracle, but he may just die to this.
Yeah, it
may just be that simple.
He's going to have to warp in a lot of units, make sure he chrono boosts his Colossus as soon as that first Colossus comes out. He's going to help so much. Remember, MarineKing is a little bit of a magician here with his Marines. He's so good at splitting them. That actually, that previous attack that he did in the game we saw earlier, the way he pulled back and spread out his units was really, really good. It's really what allowed him to basically trade as well as he did. Maybe another Sentry triple force field can buy him some time here.
Yeah, this is a pretty big ramp. The checks for the 3rd base, no. So he knows his opponent's up here with his army. MarineKing is going to scan, and down comes 2 force fields, leaves the 3rd one, unless MarineKing tries to stim forward through that hole. He goes, he doesn't. Waiting for the force fields to deplete. The first Colossus is here, but there's not too much to support that Colossus at the moment.
You know, it's so tempting to move down the ramp and fight, but it's actually wrong here, because if you do that, MarineKing will split, and you're going to be trading not at your advantage.
Yeah.
It's really not going to be a good fight that you're going to take here as Protoss, so Lilbow needs to be patient. One mistake like this too, and you find yourself behind enough that he's going to power through with the next, attacks and macro.
Well, the next Colossus is on its way. MarineKing going up to 5 barracks. He's going to have a very aggressive game here. 7 gates in total, yeah. No forge being added on, by the way, so just pure units, Todd.
2 bays, man. It's time. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough, but will it work? Work here. Both players building up a very sizable army off these 2 bases. Lots of production, maximum production pretty much from both of them.
I'm a little bit surprised. I don't usually see Lilbow do this kind of thing. Usually he loves to take a 3rd base and just defend up until he feels comfortable enough to counterattack, but maybe MarineKing broke him with this first game. Maybe Lilbow thinks he cannot take this guy, in a standard game anymore, and he wants to try something different.
Yeah. Well, Lilbow is having a look around with this Oracle. He sees the addition of the 2nd Starport. Also knows that the first Starport was pretty late. Maybe this is the decision why he decided to go for this.
And he knows there's not going to be enough Vikings, or even any.
Yeah, so right now there's no Vikings out, and there are 2 Colossus, so here's this push going to start taking place. And already a great fight. The Time Warp slows all these units. Force Field keeps them there, and he takes all of that down, and this is a fantastic start in this push.
MarineKing needs to be starting bunkers right now if he wants to have a chance at holding this. Even Vikings, he's still making Medivacs. Those barracks, they're actually going to block him here. It's natural. When he's going to get attacked, I think there's a 3rd Colossus, right?
It's coming. It's there.
Yeah, 3 Colossi against no Vikings. And barracks that are just going to block MarineKing here. Look at this. How is he going to repair? How is he going to pull SCVs? There is force fields. There is at least 1 time warp, I think.
All right, Vikings are being made, but this is a clear opportunity for Lilbow to tie this series up. Completely caught off here is MarineKing. Just look at the force fields. Great force fields is keeping all these in. He can't do anything. They're stuck there, and these Colossus doing a lot of damage. And MarineKing's in a bit of trouble.
Great choice by Lilbow. He can snipe those Vikings here on the left-hand side. There will be nothing that can shoot at these Colossi right now.
No, the 3 Colossus dealing a lot of damage. He's trying to get close to them. One of them is being taken down at the front. He pulls back, but how much really is there left for MarineKing? There's a bunch of Marauders at the north there, but 20 SCVs were slaughtered in that attack. More units being walked in here for Lilbow as he continues the onslaught. Another Colossus slowly going to get taken down, but at what cost here, Todd? As that's a lot of damage. And our French player is going to tie this up. He's going to beat MarineKing. We're going to the 3rd map. There's no way that MarineKing can stop this anymore. He's lost all his SCVs. He's got hardly any units left. And Lilbow, a surprise attack here to MarineKing, is going to take this map now. There's another pylon being warped in right there. so we can get reinforcements in immediately. Look at the supply, 38 to 90, and this is a classic MarineKing timing of GG where he ain't leaving, but he knows he's defeated. A command center goes down here for Lilbow, and this is all but over. And just like that, Lilbow turns the series around instantly. Very well executed fight there. Build-up was fantastic. MarineKing had no idea it was about to happen. And as we can see, the consequences of that, wasn't ready, got caught off guard. He knows it's over. One last attack from MarineKing, not gonna work as that Colossus is all but left over. GG. Takes the map away from MarineKing.
That was an extremely good defense here by Lilbow. I feel like a lot of Protosses, they would have made the mistake of warping in either an additional Zealots or a Stalker, and they would have tried to fight with the Guardian Shield, in which case you kind of get wrecked. You lose all of your gateway units, possibly the Nexus or the Terran goes into your main, then you start losing probes. That first Colossus gets caught, but the triple sentry force field, really what bought him enough time for that first Colossus to be out. He was patient too. So many Protosses would have moved down the ramp, tried to get rid of as much bio as possible early on. But remember, MarineKing, he had Steam Pack, he had Combat Shield, he would have wrecked Lilbow if he had moved down the ramp. So brilliant defense early on, and then behind this, an equally brilliant timing. And MarineKing, man, this barracks position, almost unforgivable here.
Yeah, he completely caught him. He just had no idea that was happening, Todd.
He still would have been in trouble, by the way, if he didn't have the barracks there. But no, it was really like, well, there is no defending this. Simple as that.
Yeah, and you think I mean, what was the big problem for MarineKing? Did he just overstay? He's welcome.
Yeah.
On the other side of the map.
When Lilbow reacted properly and triple force fielded, I think MarineKing should have sent a Marine up the ramp and realized that there is Colossus, and then he should have pulled back and wait until the medevac's out. If he had preserved his bioforce back at home, he would have had so much army that even without Vikings, he would have been able to hold this. Now he really lost way too much before the attack, and then his positioning and barracks just like...
I mean, there's obviously a difference in skill between the two of them. MarineKing, the better player here, but it just shows you a mistake, Lilbow can capitalize on it and beat this guy. So if MarineKing's got to be very careful coming into this next map, if he's going to make a mistake like that, then this can end as fast as it begun. It's just the best of three.
And Lilbow is definitely smart enough to play to his image now as well. Like, he just went for an all-in on 2 base. Maybe if he fakes that in the next game, but then plays greedy behind it with double forge in another base, MarineKing might be a little bit confused and not read into that properly. So, to be honest, MarineKing hasn't been scouting too much. Like, in the first game, he hit the timing like kind of blind. So, there is ways that Lilbow, you know, with a good and smart plays like this, he can still win this. I mean, it's 1-1.
All right, here we are, map number 3. Which player's going to the quarterfinals? Let's find out. It's as easy as that, Todd. We sit here, we watch it, we see who wins. Down here to the bottom left-hand side, representing Millennium, it's Lilbow. Got some support behind him now, as he's created a lot of belief in everyone, and he looked rather confident and just kind of happy overall after that map win. But up here to the top right-hand side is the brutal player from Team MVP. It's MarineKing. And he's going to be looking to shut Lilbow out of this tournament and move on to the next stage. For himself, the winner of this will go up against either Terran player Gumiho or Hart in the round of 8. Two very, very solid opponents. And definitely going to create for an interesting quarterfinal here if Lilbow can make his way through to the big show. It's his biggest result to date, pretty much, I think we can say. I mean, round of 32 performances in WCS to go through qualifiers and through Challenger to get to the Premier League, great. But right now, he's in the round of 16 at DreamHack, looking at a round of 8 with just a single map away.
Yeah, MarineKing on a 4-players map here, going for a command center first. I'm not surprised. He's definitely ideal of a situation to go for something like that. Now, Lilbow, this game, there's something I've seen him do against Terran. On 4-players map, it's going for a Nexus, but with double gas, and then going for a pretty quick Stargate, with which you can get an Oracle out, and then, you know, just take control of the game. Remember in the previous game, actually, he opened Oracle. The Oracle didn't really do much. It actually technically put him behind against the attack that was going to hit him, but he just adjusted so well that it didn't really matter. So in this game here, if he was to go for something like that again and gets a good economic opener, I think he's going to be okay. And look at his second gas here already. There's a very good chance he's going to go for that. MarineKing, luckily for him, is scouting. If he didn't know, then all he could do is leave Marines in his mineral lines and wait for it to come and hope like he doesn't get caught off guard.
All right, well, this SCV scout, very important here for MarineKing, and he's going to get there quite fast. Not too far away now. Second gas now completed for Lilbow.
Yeah, 2+3 here. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Stargate, with which you can still get a fairly quick Nexus, Apollo.
Yeah.
Mothership Core before helped prevent any kind of scouting from your opponent. We'll see if he does that. I'm pretty sure he's going to cancel the Zealot no matter what. Yeah, I think he's going to cancel, start the Nexus. And Mothership Core is actually not going to be that fast against the SCV to prevent it to go into the main directly. So MarineKing, it's a good win if he sees the double gas here.
Yeah, he pokes forward, and the Mothership pokes out, and MarineKing goes for it.
Oh, supposedly, Lilbow messed up a little bit. Oh, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't, Todd. No, he didn't.
It's good to get a kill, but the double gas was confirmed either way. So Stargate's going to be the choice here for Lilbow. And this time, again, triple racks from MarineKing, who's going to be getting his favorite unit, I guess.
Yes, he is. He's going to be building those Marines. But how well can he defend against the Stargate? As we saw in that previous one, he did good. And Lilbow, as you said, got put a little bit in a difficult spot. There's no engineering bay down yet. I wouldn't be surprised to see one coming in very shortly.
Keeping the Oracle alive was so important, by the way. Like, even if you get the eBay and turrets, it's not like the Oracle's going to fly in there and die. Like, maybe that happens in my games, but like this is like top Protoss, they keep the Oracle alive, they use Revelation on the Terran army, and then it makes it so difficult for you to actually attack. Like, you even know that you're revealed. It's like not ideal.
King pushes this pro back, got shot, lost its shields, turned around, still out there. Engineering bay down again, timing it towards the arrival of this Oracle.
So this is playing out very similarly so far.
Yeah.
Now on this map, you can't triple force failure ramp. You need to quintuple force. I think you need 5. Yeah, 5. Funka's counting for us. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Funka.
You're the best.
You are the best. Sometimes. Okay, so let's look at this then. So the turrets have been added on. MarineKing's getting ready for the defense, even setting up a trap with his Marines
3 more gates.
Oh, this is took a turn for the worst here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure for which player yet. I guess we'll find out. That
MarineKing doesn't really scan.
No, he doesn't.
To be honest.
But let's have a look at this, because the Oracle is being weighted here by the Marines.
4 more gates.
Oh, nice control here by Lilbow. No bunker he's going to look at first of all. And then that pylon is down. 5 additional, 5 in total gateways here. This is what Lilbow's going to do in attempt to defeat MarineKing. It's going to be a 2-base attack, a lot of gateway units. MarineKing has no idea this is happening, and this could work.
MarineKing is known to get greedy at times, and I think it's going to be one of those games. No bunker, Apollo.
This could be big.
Even one bunker here could change everything. I don't even think there is like force fields, because he hasn't really gone for
Stim is so far away. He's adding on a tech lab and reactor to his barracks. He's actually not building units right now. He's got a single Marauder on the way. More and more Stalkers are being added on. This could be the moment where Lilbow goes to the top 8 of DreamHack Open in France. He plays on the big stage. All he has to do is nail this attack. He brings half the Marines and makes sure half of them are in that main base. Stim isn't far away. +1 attack on the way eventually, but I don't think that'll be too big of an issue here.
This is completely all in here by Lilbow. It's either going to walk right away.
Here we go. This is the attack, and now MarineKing sees it for the first time. Is he going to stop it? Bunkers are being placed down in emergency. How is this going to go down? The Oracle comes back to fight.
He's going to get kited to death. Time warp. Everything's dead, Apollo.
There's nothing here. There's hardly anything left. More SCVs, even Mules coming in, and we know they aren't going to do anything here. Zealot's been warped in right to it. Lilbow is making this work against MarineKing. He's going to move in there. He's going up to the ramp here.
There's no stopping this.
There's nothing here. There is nothing here. MarineKing is about to be eliminated from DreamHack. Every single SCV is coming off the line, and Lilbow just has to keep doing what he's doing right now, moving these Stalkers back and forth, just kiting as much as possible. But this is the moment. This is it.
He's been kiting exactly as he needs to right now. I don't think there's many SCVs walking at all.
Widowmine's coming into play. MarineKing trying to hold off for the space. He's down to 1. There's a massive difference between the workers, between the 2 of them. This has been compromised, this area.
Yeah.
But I think right now, MarineKing is on his main base. He's inside.
Yeah. If Lilbow just detonates those Widowmines with 1 unit each and then moves up, he can do more damage. But it looks like he might just go for a lockdown. MarineKing's moving down. He only has 1 medivac to save this unit.
If he gets rid of the medivac, there's no escaping. Oh, he gets back inside the main base there. Nice save from MarineKing, but he's going to lose those Marauders on the low ground. There's 3 Marauders and 3 Marines. That is all that MarineKing has right now. And in a second, Lilbow's going to go again.
Rather than dropping down the forge, Oh, Robo is dropping down one more gate. He's going to go even more for this. He doesn't care about the Widow Mines. They've already been detonated. He's just going to finish him.
Here we go. He's going to finish this and move through to the round of 8. He's charging down these Marauders, and MarineKing is trying everything he can to make this work. And again, more SCVs will be sacrificed in this defense. Is it going to work? He's just got to keep pushing through. The Widow Mines get repositioned. He's targeted down the Marauders one by one. Great hits there from MarineKing, and he still survives, but he's lost another 10, 11 workers. Lilbow has to retreat.
He's down to 13, so Lilbow's going to move back from there. 13 SCVs, double orbital or not, against 32 probes. Lilbow can start boosting our probes. He's done enough of the damage here to just start taking behind his drop down a rowboat. Or even just keep on being aggressive, but right now he's fighting with 2 little units. He needs to pull back, regroup, and then go for it.
There's 3 pylons here, and MarineKing holds on. As much as Lilbow is very, very close to moving on to the next part, MarineKing somehow holds on after losing 29 SCVs. He's down half the economy, and right now Lilbow just needs to rebuild up. He's getting a mothership core. If he adds enough units here,
the counter-attack or drops could be really strong here. Keep in mind there is Widow Mines. I don't even think there is detection here for Lilbow.
Yeah, there isn't. There's just the Twilight Council. Currently chrono boosting into the probes. He's pushing his economy even further ahead. 2 Zealot counterattack. Maybe this buys enough time, but MarineKing's marching over the other side of the map with the leftover units that he has that he will control to the very highest
Lilbow's making too many walkers. He needs to get gateway units here. Stalkers ideally to defend against the attack that's coming his way. And keep in mind, there is kiting capability here for MarineKing, and he's one of the very best at kiting.
Well, the mothership core does not have enough energy, and all of a sudden these units are coming forward. Lilbow knows he's under a lot of pressure. He's got 7 gateways. He just doesn't have any units right now. Moves a pro forward to try to get the detonation, and here we go. MarineKing turns on the aggression for himself, and Lilbow has to survive, but I don't know if he can, Todd. There's a lot of units here, and he just doesn't have anything left.
The mothership core is dying just before he's going to get a photon overcharge.
And just like that, it's switched around, and Lilbow down in supply, minimal units left, and what looked like a position. He was moving on to the next round. Photon overcharge gets activated, buys himself a little bit more time, but he does not have another one. There's 2 Widow Mines that are gonna get ready. They're reloaded, and the drop inside the main base. There's nothing here. It's 2, 3 Stalkers, and just the mothership core left over. MarineKing, in a remarkable hold, turns it around and was almost eliminated, but survives. Very, very close there. And unfortunately for Lilbow, Todd, very, very unfortunately,
I thought it was over, man.
Couldn't finish it.
I can't believe he held that somehow and still managed to win. I don't know, I feel like Lilbow maybe could have played it a little bit differently, but overall the idea was brilliant to go for this, and it almost worked. MarineKing played pretty greedy, but somehow holds. I can't believe.
I know, that was an incredible hold there by MarineKing, and he moves on to the quarterfinals. We'll play live on stage tomorrow. Unfortunately, Lilbow is eliminated from the tournament, leaving only 1 European in the top 8, and that is Harston, who will represent tomorrow. Joined again by Richard Lewis and Wax Angel. Whew.
Man, that was a crazy final match. Then again, that was kind of vintage MarineKing in terms of what he did there. Pull off a crazy kind of like impossible defense, and then just come back on the force of sheer micro.
I mean, I don't know, right? You know, it's all Greek to me. So I'm sat there in the crowd are going mental. I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to happen. We're going to get him, in the quarterfinals, and then I don't know. Just you could sense it was palpable, and the crowd were like,
what's going on? He had
done it, hasn't he? And it was
because it felt like he was doing a lot of damage, and he was about to finish it. But then the attack ended and was held, and I looked down and I saw 17 SCVs against 34 probes. 34 probes is really not that much that you're going to be able to replenish this entire army that you've thrown. That's why I said in the start of the attack that this is completely all-in. Like, if you don't kill the Terran, and he survives with even like very few SCVs or very little army, there is always a comeback possible. Yeah. And we've seen that before, not just with MVP versus Tefl, but even across some PVTs.
Well, I mean, what could Lilbow have done differently then? I mean, to avoid kind of, shooting his loads, so to speak, too soon.
What could he have done differently?
I think there was a few micro mistakes. Like when he got into the main, maybe he didn't start kiting directly and fought for too long. And also, he didn't try making a pylon up the ramp early enough. Like, he did it very late, and it got denied. That pro moved up there, and it got blocked by the Marines, not even intentionally. So he didn't put down the pylon, and then he got killed. If he had had one pylon up a ramp and kept on reinforcing there with Zealots, I think he breaks MarineKing.
What about the crisis management, though, under that extreme pressure to, you know, all of a sudden in your own little land, worrying about when you're going to attack next, all of a sudden you're being attacked yourself, the crisis management to start the Widowmine production immediately, pull back to the main base, and it was like he'd played against that type of attack 1,000 times before and knew exactly what to do and how to defend, and it worked.
He's known for his Marine micro, and I think it really showed here too. I think one of the things that Lilbow could have done very well here is get a sentry and force field the ramp and let nothing escape from the natural, because they backed up the ramp from the natural, the units. And when he was able to evacuate with this and then got medivacs and widow mines, that's the only reason he was able to barely hold.
Okay, well, look, guys, we'll quickly do an interview and we'll talk some more about this great game. It is sad we couldn't get a French person in the final 8, but I think good showing anyway, but all the same, which we'll talk about in a bit more. But we have got MarineKing Prime, who is victorious, and his reward is he gets to talk to Smix.
Thank you very much, Richard Lewis. Congratulations, MarineKing rather, sorry, old habits, on advancing on to the round of 8. That last game was so insane, MarineKing. I honestly thought you were dead.
사실 그 마지막 세트에서 원래 이제 그 맵에서 천홍성 맵에서 프로토스들이 좀 가끔씩 변수로 쓰는 빌드였어요. 그 릴보우 선수가 쓴 빌드가. 근데 그게 한국 선수들이 자주 사용하는 빌드였고 외국 선수들은 잘 안 쓸 줄 알고 뭔가 그냥 배제를 했는데 그게 딱 와서 처음에 아 진짜 또 배제가 또 하다가 지는구나 싶었는데 그냥 이제 지게 로봇 테란 제일 장점인 지게 로봇만 믿고 그냥 SCB 다 던지면서 막아보자 했는데 상대 선수가 또 되게 이긴 줄 알고 방심하신 것 같아요. 그래서 좀 역전이 나온 것 같아요.
So MarineKing says, headed into that third game, actually that strategy that Lilbow used is actually very commonly used amongst Korean players. And so I've seen that many times before, the strategy that Lilbow used, but I honestly didn't expect a foreign player to use this. So because of that, I didn't expect it. I decided to play greedy. And then when I saw what was coming, I thought, oh God, I shouldn't have been so greedy. And he came at me and I thought I had lost, but I decided to give it everything I had. I pulled all my SCVs and because that's the strength of being a Terran player. In those situations, you can pull your SCVs. And I also think that in that situation, Lilbow got a little bit too eager to try and close out the win. So I think he overextended a little bit, and I was able to defend well with my mines, and I think that's why I was able to close out the series and get that game. And MarineKing, next up, you'll be playing Gumio, and you played 2 Terrans on your way here, but Gumio is the first Korean player you'll have to play. You've played him many times in the past, and mostly you have won. So are you confident headed into that match?
사실 구미호 선수랑은 팀에서 같이 생활하고 워낙 태태전을 잘하는 선수이기 때문에 이전에 드림핵에서 했던 태태전이랑은 훨씬 더 어려울 것 같아요. 왜냐하면 서로 스타일도 잘 알고 그냥 되게 좋은 빌드들도 공유하고 워낙 그냥 서로 스타일을 너무 잘 알고 있어가지고 과거에 제가 이겼던 거는 좀 오래전 일인 것 같아서 별로 의의는 두지 않고 그냥 진짜 8강에서 만난 게 너무 아쉽긴 한데 8강에서 만약에 제가 이긴다면은 우승까지 쉽게 할 수 있을 것 같아요. 제일 고비인 것 같아요.
So he says, in terms of Gumio, we live in the same house, we're in the same team, we know each other's styles extremely well. So in that sense, I think it's going to be very difficult because we're so familiar with each other's styles. I actually respect him a lot as a Terran player. I think that not only is he very skilled, I think he's really good at using different styles, and he's also just very good at TvT. So I think headed into the round of 8, I'm a little bit upset that I had to meet him so earlier on. But I feel that if I am able to win against Gumio, I think that he will be my toughest obstacle, and if I can just pass him, then I'll have an easy road to the finals and actually be able to win the whole thing. And last but not least, MarineKing, we talked about how this is your first DreamHack ever, And now you're in the top 8. You'll be able to stand on that big stage in front of all the French fans. How excited are you for that?
진짜 너무 오랜만에 이제 큰 무대에서 경기를 하게 됐는데 정말 잊고 살고 있었던 것 같아요. 이때까지 그 해외 팬분들의 응원, 큰 응원과 함성 이런 게 진짜 까마득하게 이제 옛날에만 겪었지 2년 가까이 이제 겪어본 적이 없었는데 이번에 진짜 올라왔으니까 승패도 중요하지만 그냥 되게 재미있는 경기 꼭 보여드리겠습니다. 네.
So MarineKing says, you know, it's been 2 years. I've almost forgotten what it's like to stand on such a big stage in front of the passion of the foreign fans. And the passion of the foreign fans is just something else. They cheer so passionately. And the French fans here are awesome. And just being able to stand here, I'm so excited. It's been such a long time since I've been in front of it. I'm so excited to feel it and experience it once again. And in return for your guys cheering for me, I'll make sure to be able to show you guys some really great games. So thank you very much again, MarineKing, and best of luck tomorrow. Guys, we're not done yet. We have one match left in day 1 of DreamHack Open Tour. It'll be the match between the DreamHack Open Valencia 2014 champion versus the DreamHack Open Winter Top 4 finisher. It'll be Sax3 versus Patience. Don't go anywhere.